Hello and welcome to Top Sniffs. I'm Matt and cheers for that click. Hope you're doing well. I'm comparing today the original Spicebomb, which I've had for some time, with the slightly newer, but still been around for a bit now, Extreme version. So to start off with the original, I've had this one for a while now. It originally came out in 2012. I think I was gifted this over Christmas, I think probably about 2014. So it's had a lot of use. I've got about a quarter of it left. It's been my signature scent, my going out scent for some time, and I've pretty much always had it in my collection since then. So very familiar and a lot of good memories with this one. Lovely fragrance, really enjoy it. I'll run you the notes. We've got at the top pink pepper, bergamot, grapefruit. In the mid, cinnamon, saffron, paprika, and at the base, tobacco, leather, and vetiver. So, what I get from this fragrance, I think if you know fragrances, you're probably familiar with it. But you just get this huge blast of spice straight away, unmistakable of it. You get a load of cinnamon, a lot of spice from it. It's very heavy, it's very dense, it's quite spiky and a little bit harsh, but as it dries down, the cinnamon and the sort of cumin notes tend to sort of step back. You get a little bit more of the saffron and tobacco and leather, but this is predominantly about the spice in this fragrance. There is some sweetness, a bit of vanilla notes as it sort of dries down, but predominantly it's the spice with this fragrance. Lovely fragrance, I say great in the autumn and winter. It was my signature scent and fantastic for work as well. So I'm really enjoying this fragrance. With the newer extreme version, this one, the notes I found anyway, is cumin, tobacco, vanilla, lavender and cinnamon. So from this fragrance, I've worn it for probably the past week, day in, day out, just to see how it goes. But I get a really strong, heavy vanilla, sort of black vanilla vibe on this one. It's very, very rich, very thick. It's almost custard-like, you know, really heavy vanillaed custard. That's what I get from this fragrance. But you still have that classic sort of spice bomb DNA in it with this one. The original one, I find, I wouldn't say it's a dated fragrance, but it is familiar. So if you know fragrances, you've probably smelled this one before, or similar things like Bulgari Man in Black. Close to that one. It's not exactly the same, but it does share quite a few similarities, I think. The dry down is probably a little bit better on this one when it sort of settles and the spice settles, but it's quite a linear fragrance. Once you've sort of got it in your skin for about 20 to 30 minutes, generally that's what you get. You might pick a little bit more of the sweetness up, but essentially what it starts out with is what it ends up with. Performance wise, fantastic. You know, it's a good solid 8 to 9 hours and projects really nicely. With the extreme, it started off quite close for me when I put them on my skin, compared them side by side, but as it sort of dried down over time, they really did start to separate. Initially, it was the sweetness with this fragrance, the vanilla. This is a very vanilla forward fragrance, very much sweeter. I would say a little bit more youthful and probably a little bit more playful as well. But the sweetness, the vanilla and the warmth from this one. Tobacco as well, it's more of a sort of blonde, smoother tobacco, not a very harsh one. So very mass appealing, really likable. I'd say the quality is fantastic for both these fragrances. They are really good. They're not the cheapest designer fragrances, but the quality is definitely higher. For me, the performance is great for both of them. I think the extreme projects a bit more, but still lasts probably about the same, I would say. I know a lot of people prefer the extreme, but I really do still enjoy the original. I think for it's slightly more mature, work-wise, autumn, winter, and the early days of spring, it's fantastic in the day. This, the extreme, is more of a sweeter vanilla fragrance, so maybe a bit more youthful. If you like your vanilla fragrances, this is a fantastic one to go for. So tobacco and vanilla, brilliant. It did remind me a little bit of the Imaginary Authors fragrance, Memories of a Trespasser. So when I put this on my skin, the vanilla note, dark vanilla note, that's what it reminded me of. So if you like this, maybe go for the Memories of a Trespasser, or if you want to have something similar, I mean, it's not exactly the same by a long way, but it's that sort of vanilla note, this would be a fantastic one to go for too, because the quality and performance is brilliant on this one. So a bit more youthful, a lot more playful. I would say evening, going out. You could wear it in the day if you fancied it, but for me, leans a little bit more for the evening time. Christmas scent, fantastic. I think I'll be wearing this on Christmas Day. It's that sort of warm, cozying, sweet fragrance, absolutely lovely. But day-to-day wear, cooler weather, I think Spicebomb is still brilliant. So this is a bit more going out, having fun casually. This is a more of a day, sort of daily workhorse of a fragrance. So I really still do enjoy the original, and I'll be reaching for it a lot. Whereas this would be more of an occasion fragrance now and again. So I enjoy both, and I think they have their sort of positives of when you would wear them. You know, that so you could own both, I think, and depending what you were doing, where you're going, which one you reach for. But a bit more mature, a bit more sort of day work way, fantastic. But going out, I'll probably go for the extreme version. But really lovely fragrance, and for vanilla fragrance is fantastic. That's my thoughts on these two fragrances, the original and the extreme. Let me know which one you prefer. I think if you stick that in the comments, which one you preferred and what you'd use it for. You know, would you use this every day, or, you know, do you think this is a lot better, or do you think the original is still great? I still like the original, so for me, I like having both. So I've got the evening or the day option. But yeah, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this fragrance review. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Matt. You've been watching Top Sniffs. Cheers.